Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the iGPSPORT BSC300 GPS cycling computer. The iGPSPORT BSC300 GPS computer is iGPSPORT top cycling computer in their Bike Smart Computer or BSC lineup. This is a compact GPS computer that features navigation and a full color screen with vibrant designs. Packaging wise, you can see simple cardboard box, specs printed in multiple languages, this nice glossy representation of the computer, BSC300 printed on the side. We'll go ahead and take it out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $159.99. It has a 2.4-inch non-touch color screen, which has a 320 by 240 pixel display. You have full map view with route navigation, as well as 8-page display with 8 data fields per page and 130 data field options to choose from. This is compatible with nearly any device, power meter, speed sensors, everything except a radar. You have 20-hour runtime with USB Type-C charging and a 600 milliamp internal battery. As far as what comes with it, obviously you get the computer itself with this cool carbon fiber finish. Underneath the holder, we have a handlebar mount, so very simple puck style with 2 O-rings. Then you have a little quick start guide that shows you how to set up the computer and pair it with your phone. You'll notice you don't actually get a USB Type-C charging cable, which is something they also do with their other model, and that means you get to reuse your existing one, which shouldn't be an issue if you already have other devices. Now let's take a look at the weight of the computer. So just the head unit by itself, that comes out to 67 grams, so pretty light for what it is. Marketed as the ultimate bike smart computer, the BSC300 is iGPSPORT's top model in the BSC lineup. The computer takes all the features of the other BSC computers and adds a colorful display on top. The BSC300 shares the same compact 82 by 53 millimeter rectangular profile with a slim 14.5 millimeter thickness. To add some flair to the computer, iGPSPORT has added this carbon fiber finish to the front face, as well as a 2.4-inch color display within that bezel. This has a 320 by 240 pixel resolution. The computer has a sleek appearance with beveled edges and a combination of matte and glossy plastic finishes. You'll notice there's no exposed hardware, so it's a fully enclosed design that looks pretty sleek and premium, even though it still is a budget price. You can see the iGPSPORT logo on the front and on the top, with well-labeled buttons on here. There's 6 different buttons. So 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 3 on the other side, and you can see they have a nice raised profile and great click to them. So it feels really premium when you actually interact with it. You can also see on the bottom you have the standard Garmin quarter turn style mount, along with this little gasket that covers up the USB Type-C charging port. And this is actually IPX7 rated, which is really great. So you can use this in rainy weather and not worry about it. Just push down the rubber cover and you're protected. And then with this generic mount, you can use the included handlebar mount, which is a very simple 2-piece design. You have a little rubber backing and then the main piece with little hooks onto it. You just take the rubber rings, wrap it around your handlebar or stem for a nice secure fit. I highly recommend going up to an out front mount instead though. So they also have the M80 $16 plastic out front mount. This lets you put the computer right in front of your stem. So you mount this to the left of your stem and it puts it right in front of your field of view for a lot sleeker appearance. And they even have an aftermarket adapter to let you put a light underneath this. So quarter turn style mount makes it so you can use nearly any mount on the market. There's tons of options. You don't have to just buy this. You can use your existing one, as the Garmin standard is very common. As far as the user interface on here, it is very simple. So with 6 buttons, each button has a really dedicated task. So each one of them is very clearly labeled, and you can see this bright color screen. You have up and down to go through the menus. The top right is a confirmation or quick selection to the settings. You have a reverse here, or the power button if you hold it down. And then you have the lap functionality, as well as the play or pause. So this will jump you to the play page where the recordings can happen, and you can pause or start that recording to record an activity. So pretty simple overall. It is a non-touch screen, so you have to use all the buttons. But with so many of them, they're all really clearly labeled and easy to use. Now let's go over the initial setup of the computer. It's pretty simple. Once you power it on, you'll have a language option. And again, the interface is very easy to use because you have so many buttons here. You can see the tone dialog when you press the up or down. So select the language. Then you can select your time zone. So you have to look that up based on where you're at. Once you're happy with it, then you have a little QR code to download the app. You can select your units. And then you're pretty much ready to go. The next thing you want to do is connect your sensors. So we'll go to settings, sensor, and again, very simple. The top right enters the menu, up, down switches between, and you have a back button. So we'll add sensor, we'll do search all, and then we'll spin our cadence sensor. Now you can see it found the cadence sensor. So we'll connect, and that's it. So pretty simple, and you're pretty much ready to ride. Now you probably want to use the app to customize the layout and some of the settings. Now let's take a look at some riding footage with the BSC300. As you can see, the color display works really well. You have a nice high viewing angle and bright colors. It's not as large as some of the other computers on the market, so you do need to be aware of that. The fonts are a little bit smaller, but you can reconfigure the layout to accommodate that. We have the nice speed ring here, which I really like. It shows you the current speed, max speed, and average, all in one simple display. One thing I never liked about iGPSPORT is their navigation prompts. You can see they show up with a big black box over everything, and you only have an altitude cover chart, not an upcoming altitude or a climb challenge like you get with our higher end computers. The navigation prompt also shows up on the map view, which is not too bad. You actually get nice arrows and colors to indicate where you're going, but it would have been nice if they actually told you street names or a little caricature of each intersection, as the simple arrows can be confusing at more complex intersections. Otherwise, the navigation does work well, but it does have the fluke that the other iGPSPORT had, in that if you have overlapping routes, so if you're doing a loop, it may think you're going home. So here you can see I'm supposed to actually turn around and go backwards, but it thinks I'm just going back home, so it just cuts the route short and navigates you back. So if you're riding somewhere new, you need to be careful of that. You don't want to inadvertently do an extra loop or cut the ride short. Otherwise, it does work well, and you can see everything updates pretty quickly, and all the buttons are very easy to use during the ride. You don't have to worry about a touch screen or anything inadvertently getting clicked. Now let's take a look at the iGPSPORT app. As you can see, it's a pretty well-designed app. You have multiple tabs on the bottom. You have Home, Activity, Device, and then Me. Within the home page, you can see a listing of recent activities, any goals, training, and recommendations. You have Activity View, where you can see all your rides that you've uploaded here, and then you can see more detailed information on them. So you see the map view, you see the additional stats, and you can even select the bike to associate it with it. You also have the device screen. This is where you can actually connect to the computers. I have the BSC300 here. So I've already connected with it via Bluetooth, and now you can see I can do some device management as far as data. I can do auto syncing. I can set up the routes, upload them. I can connect sensors using the app as well, which is nice, and you can see I have a saved sensor. You can calibrate the GPS, so you want to do this the first time you get it, and then it improves the GPS accuracy. You can set up notifications between the computer and your phone, which is nice to have, so if you get an email or call, it'll pop up on the screen, and that'll pop up on the main homepage, which is pretty convenient. Then you also have the theme options here. So these duplicate some of the features you actually have on the device, the day and night mode. You can easily switch between them. You can see it actually changes the color in real time. Then you can do some more additional stuff like the firmware detection, so you can update it, which is something you want to do especially when you first buy it. And then you can set up the layouts and then the profile. So on here you have the ride mode, and you can see by default there's indoor, outdoor. Here you can also add them. And this is where you can actually set up the names, which is really nice. So you can't, on the device, you can't do that. All you can do is basically add with indoor, outdoor as a template here. You can actually change it. So a lot more control here as you actually have a full keyboard. And then the more important thing here is you can also set the page layout. So You get this nice graphical view of each page. So you see the equivalent on the device. Here you can change the number of items. You can do a hold to actually change items on here. So we click the edit. Now I can click on this and modify it. So tons of options here, variations of speed, heart rate, power. They have a popular section, which makes it a little easier to find things. You can delete items on here, and there's tons of screen options. So you can see the map view, 8 data display, and you actually delete it. And as you delete it, it'll remove it. Then you can do add item, and you can see this will add it onto the bottom. Within each layout, there's actually a few options. So you can do a full width single item and then the split items below it, or do that on the bottom. So it's not very intuitive here, but you can add and delete till you find what you want. And then if you go to the other pages, you have altitude and even the workout pages. So pretty nice setup. It could be a little bit better, but at least with this graphical view, it's really easy to set it up and personalize. Now it's a little comparison between the iGPSPORT BSC computers and other computers on the market. You can see we have the BSC200 and 300 side by side. They have almost the same profile, while the BSC300 has the color screen versus the black and white version here. So you can see the display has higher pixel ratio, so it looks a little bit sleeker, and you have that carbon fiber finish to set it off. But otherwise, they have the almost identical body. Both have the Garmin mounts, USB Type-C, and simple 6-button interface. These computers are also very analogous to some of the Garmin options. We have the much older Garmin 200, so you can see much smaller, and you can see you get a lot more features with iGPSPORT versus an equivalent Garmin, and that's one of the big selling points with these. Even though you don't get the name brand of Garmin, you get the same features at a much lower price point. Bryton is also known for their really affordable but high-end computers. This is the S500, so you can see very simple. This has a color touchscreen, and you can see it. You have a simplified display where you can pick the different modes versus this carousel design. High contrast display, and you can see a bigger screen, but even the S500 costs a little bit more and it's a little thicker. And their $400 S800, you can see quite a bit bigger and more equivalent to the Garmin 800 or 1000 models. It's much larger, and you have the full map view. So a nice option, but you can see you're definitely paying a premium for the size. So with the iGPSPORT BSC models, you get all the features like the navigation and the color screen with the BSC300, but a lower price point, and the main thing you're lacking is the radar connectivity. Otherwise, you can display everything else from your power meter, speed, as well as even the current shift mode from your Di2 or SRAM setup. Now let's go over the pros and cons of the iGPSPORT BSC300. What we like about it is they have a very affordable price. It's a lot more affordable than the equivalent Garmin or Wahoo devices, and you get almost the same feature set. You also get a bright color screen with great graphics, so very easy to see whether it's during the day or night. And you also have an intuitive user interface with the physical button layout, so it's easy to jump between screens and then access all your data very quickly. The main negatives with this computer is the fact they have no climb challenge. So unlike the iGPSPORT 600 series, which will actually show you climb, so this one you don't have that feature. And as with the other models, the navigation gets really confused, so it will invent turns if you're doing a lot of windy roads. And if you have overlapping routes, it can take you back home instead of completing the route, so you do need to be careful. Taking everything into account, we'd give the BSC300 an 8.8 out of 10. It's a nice color navigation GPS on a budget. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.